Hey guys, it's Joshua for Spoken Fire. This is a new camera. I got this for my birthday, technically. Um, it actually is like really good quality so far, from what I can tell. Um, and I hope it does, because I actually spent some money on this, pitched in with what my parents paid, so that we have a new camera, so that now we can do better quality videos and waste less time complaining about how terrible our camera angles and lighting and that kind of thing is. I also got a light with this. It came in like a package kind of thing. So when we are in a dark place, I actually will have a light for filming. Um, so before I get into like the body of this video, I just want to say thank you for subscribing and watching, and etc. 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 So recently I was able to go on a trip with our youth group. It was really fun, really great experience. A lot of things happened, but I only want to talk about a couple of those things because if I talk about everything, we'd be here all night. And it's Thursday night, and I'm filming a video for tomorrow, and so I don't want to be here all day. So first of all, a couple things were that we did for free time. One was play pool. So me and Natalie and a couple other people, my brother and a couple other people, we played pool together. It was really interesting because we're all really bad at pool. It was actually really funny because there was a bunch of pool tables in the rec center at the camp where we were at. And there was this guy that came up and he's like, "Don't you know how to play 9-ball?" And we were like, "No, we're just playing stripes and solids," because that's basically all we knew how to play, and we were really sucking at that. So it was kind of like, no, we don't want to play anything. Like, try to learn something new. And one of my friends, when he left, she was like, has he not been watching it? How bad we are? Because no, there's no way that we know how to play 9-ball. And she's like, and actually before he left, she was like, we only play pool once a year, and that's here at this camp. So that was fun. We almost died multiple times playing pool, which is stupid, but who knew pool could be actually really dangerous? And we are really, really bad. There was like times where it was like, oh yeah, we're just going back and forth scratching and doing nothing, and like it'd be like, oh yeah, I have the perfect shot, and if I don't mess this up we could win the game, and then you'd mess it up or that kind of thing. And there was like one where I was like, okay, I think I can hit this ball, but then I hit the 8-ball in and lost the game for my team, and my teammate was really mad at me. So, and then if you were following our Instagram channel, you probably saw the picture on Wednesday of like someone's foot, and there was like blood all over the sock. So that was my brother. That was an interesting situation. That was the last night that we were there, because we were gone Friday, and then we were there all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then we left Monday morning. So this was Sunday night, like probably 11:30 to 11:45 or something, and he was playing soccer in there, and I was just talking with Natalie. We were just hanging out and talking about, I think we were talking about the channel actually, talking nearby, and it was kind of like they were just playing on like part of the volleyball court in the gym. They were just playing soccer back and forth, and they were all wearing socks and stuff. And then a little bit later, our youth pastor brings him over and sits him down, and there's just like blood all over the sock. And if you saw the picture, then you know how much blood it was. And after my first reaction, I was like, oh no, what did he do? Because we're like, where the camp is, it's in the middle of nowhere, like literally in the middle of nowhere. We're like an hour away from a town with like a population of 46 or something like that. So we're like in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, what did he do, and what are we gonna have to do to fix this? I actually was gonna have him be on the video so he could tell some of his story about it, but actually he's in bed now. But anyway, and it was really funny because I don't do blood very well, and so usually once I saw like that much blood and that kind of thing, I'd be like, okay, I'm done, I need to go somewhere else and not think about this. But I was actually a really good brother, and I stayed with him the entire time because they ended up taking his sock off, and he was bleeding. It was his big toe on his right foot, and he got it pretty good, and there's like a lot of blood and stuff. And apparently he tripped while they were playing soccer, and he didn't think anything of it, and because it just hurt. But apparently he was bleeding, and he didn't notice until a while later when it was like, oh yeah, I'm bleeding, and now my foot is, like, my sock is soaked. So we ended up, like, we were freaking out because we weren't sure what to do, and nobody had Band-Aids at the sports center, and the nurse was in bed and about a half a mile away on camp. So, and it was snowing outside, so there was about 2 inches of snow, and it was kind of like, oh, we don't want her to have to walk or drive or get down here at this point. It was like 12:30 at night, so it was actually Monday morning at this point, and we just didn't want her to have to run down just to give us a Band-Aid for him. So we were like trying to find a Band-Aid. We were using a lot of paper towels, and me and Natalie actually ended up going around on the gym floor and looking for blood that he had tracked, and there was a bunch of like really long, like foot-long streaks of blood and spattering and stuff. Sorry if you don't do well with gory imaging stuff, though it wasn't actually that bad. And so that we cleaned all that up, and the nurse got there, and the nurse was super nice and super helpful, and like made sure that his toe wasn't broken and stuff. And so gave him a Band-Aid and wrapped it all up and everything. And then we realized, then it was kind of like, okay, now we need to go to bed, because that was about the time that they closed the rec center and sent everybody to bed. Except our bed was like a dorm that was like a half a mile away from where we were at, and now my brother can only wear one shoe because his toe's all swollen and bloody and wrapped up, and it wouldn't fit in his shoe, and he couldn't put socks on because it hurt that much. And we were like, what are we gonna do? So I ended up carrying him a half a mile through the snow. Also, it was on a slight incline. Like, people actually later when I was telling the story, they were like, oh yeah, uphill both ways or something, and it was like, actually, it was on a slight incline. It wasn't super uphill, but it was uphill. And actually, I hurt so bad, and I'm still sore, actually, because this was the last weekend. I'm still super sore, like, my entire side, like, my side over here and my shoulder, and from carrying him. Partially because he's, like, crushed my rib cage, and because his bones, and he just, like, it hurt my hips to, like, piggyback carrying him a half a mile. And also, if you know me at all, I wear flip-flops 365 days a year, with the exceptions of being church. Sometimes. I don't always wear shoes to church. And when I'm shooting archery, because that's a safety thing. And the third time that you will see me is when I'm working on stage crew for a theater, because it's another safety thing. So basically, I only wear shoes and socks when I have to. So I'm wearing flip-flops at this point. And now I have to carry my brother a half a mile through the snow, slightly uphill, to bed. So I did. We ended up wrapping his foot in a paper bag because that one didn't put any pressure on his toe. And it was really funny to watch, because it's like him, we're walking through the snow, me in flip-flops, he doesn't have one of his shoes on, and it was literally a popcorn, like a paper bag that they had used for popcorn. And he was in pain the entire time, and I was in pain because he was crushing me. And but anyway, we got back to the room, and Natalie had been carrying one of his shoes, or the shoe that he wasn't wearing, because he was wearing his left foot had his shoe on because he didn't want to get super cold. So she handed me his shoe, and he went into the room because he could limp. He just didn't want to walk through the snow in bare feet, which wouldn't have been much different from what I was doing with flip-flops, but my feet are stronger than his. my feet are actually stronger than most people's feet. Which that's a totally different story. Basically, people walk on my feet all the time. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry, you're wearing flip-flops and I just stepped on your feet. And I'm like, I have people do this all the time and my feet are really, honestly, they're very tough. So don't worry about it. Just don't step on my feet in spikes. Or heels. Yeah, that would hurt. But anyway, so that was interesting. And so anyway, Natalie gave me the shoe and it was kind of like, that was when we said goodnight and she went to like the girls' room and I went into bed. And so I said goodnight and then I was like, I gotta go find Cinderella because I was like holding one shoe and I was like, oh, that's super funny. And she laughed and then I walked into the room and I just kind of like Steven's bed and clothes and stuff were across the room from where I was standing. So I just like kind of like out of habit just took the shoe and threw it across the room. And I was like I had released and I was watching it fly through the air straight for Steven and his foot, which is still wrapped in a popcorn bag and is injured. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna hit his foot and then he's gonna scream and then he's gonna get really mad at me. He's gonna kill me. Fortunately, it landed next to his foot. It ruffled the bigger bag and then bounced over his big toe. So I was safe for one day. I actually did end up kicking it lightly. Like I bumped it while I was walking past a couple days later when we were back at home. He was pretty mad. So that was that adventure. I'm pretty sure I've been talking for a while. Some little bits and pieces. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, etc., etc., etc. Please comment below or message us on Instagram or email us using the email that's in the about section on our channel. To tell us what you think of our videos, if you really like them, what you want us to see us do. Partially because we're not totally sure what we want to do, and we're not sure all of our what all of our videos are going to be. I already have a couple weeks planned for what we're filming. I'll actually probably end up filming a video later this weekend to post in a couple weeks, and I'm super excited, but I'm not going to tell you anything about that. So also, if you didn't like a video or there was something like, we want a lot of feedback. So if you have an opinion, or even if it's just like, I really like this video, why don't you do more, where you're just telling stories or something like that, like comment that below, message us, email us, something, just let us know, because we really want to know that kind of thing from our viewers and our subscribers, and we really appreciate that, because that helps us to know what not to do and what to do, and it gives us ideas. And if there's something like, oh yeah, I've heard about this challenge that's going around that we want you to see you do, or something like that, like a while back it was the ice bucket challenge, that was a long time ago. Like if you could comment something like, I want to see you do the ice bucket challenge. Don't actually comment that, because that was way back in the past. But like if you want to see us do something, just comment that down below, and we will try to do it, because we're just, at this point, we're just looking for ideas and that kind of thing. Anyway, that was long-winded. Thank you for watching. I'm so excited. This camera is so nice, and I can't wait to show Jacob and Charlie and Natalie. And also, just a heads up, I got to see a promo. I got to see like this much of my face for our new channel art that a friend of mine is doing. I'm super stoked to let you guys see that, because I just saw like this much of my face and I'm like, oh my word, that's so good. I can't wait to see the full picture once you finish. So that's what's on the way right now. Also, if you have been following my blog, which the links will be down in the description, I'm kind of taking a break for right now. I'm taking a break from a lot of things, the exception being this channel, so that I can get organized and get back on track with some of my school and clean my room and other stuff like that. So thank you for your support. Hold in there, and please give us feedback. Please, 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 please. I don't care if you like the video or anything. I just want feedback. That's the most important thing. Even if it's like somewhat negative, like, oh, I just really didn't like what you did because I thought it was boring. That's legit feedback, and then we can learn from that. Thank you. I'm gonna sign off now. So until next week, this is Joshua for Spoken Fire. Peace out. Oh, and so now over here we have 2 video clips. We have one up here and one down here. This is last week's video, and this is the most recent video that we posted. And over here you can subscribe to our channel. Bye.